Hello everyone, I am Dunk066. I live in Safeland. I am an advisor to the Safe. And today I will take you through one such situation in which I advised and helped the Safe to overcome a problem to restore his friendship with Safina. Are you ready? Let's start. The problem goes by the name Safe Safina and their friendship. Let's solve this problem. Here goes the problem statement. In Safeland, each person has their own non-empty personal string. When two people with personal strings, say T1 and T2, possibly identical, become friends in Safeland, their strings are replaced by a new string S, which is basically a new concatenated string of T1 twice and T2 twice. Safe recently became friends with Safina. However, Safina's personal string was her favorite, and she got upset when it was replaced by this new string S. She wanted her personal string back. Safe does not remember T1 and T2 now. He only knows S. We are required to find the number of ways in which Safe can retrieve valid strings T1 and T2 from the given string S. It is also possible that Safe does not remember S correctly. In that case, we would not be able to retrieve T1 and T2 back from S. So here we are in Safeland. Safe initially has the string T1 and Safina has the string T2. After they become friends, their string got replaced by the new string S. The new string S is found by the concatenation of the older strings T1 and T2. Safina does not like this new string S. She wants her initial string T2 back. But the problem is that the Safe does not remember the initial strings T1 and T2. He now only has this new string S, and from this new string S, he is required to retrieve the older strings T1 and T2 back. In short, we are given this new string S, and we are required to find the number of ways in which we can retrieve T1 and T2 back from this string S. After further inquiring, I came to know about these constants from the Safe. The size of the initial string T lies in the range 1 to 10 to the power 4. The size of the final string after concatenation, that is S, lies in the range 4 to 10 to the power 5. The length of the new string S is divisible by 2, and we need to do all the operations such that we can retrieve T1 and T2 back from S within 1 second. What should be the time complexity of the solution to this problem? A time complexity of big O of n or better than that should be perfect for solving this problem. We now have this new string S with us. This new string S can be considered to comprise of 4 different blocks, and each of the blocks contains 4 different substrings. And if the Safe remembers the string S properly, then these 4 substrings corresponds to T1 and T2. The initial 2 may be same as that of T1 and the latter 2 may be same as that of T2. We have the length of the string T1 plus the length of the string T1 plus the length of the string T2 plus the length of the string T2 equal to the length of the new string S. From this, we can obtain that the length of the string T1 plus the length of the string T2 must be equal to half the length of the new string S. Minimum length of the string T1 or T2 is equal to 1. That has been provided in the constraints. So what can be the maximum length of T1 or T2? Substituting the minimum length of T1 or T2 as 1, we obtain the maximum length of T1 or T2 to be half the length of the new string S minus 1. We conclude from all these observations that the length of the initial string T1 or T2 varies from 1 to half the length of the final string minus 1. Let us visualize the change of length of T2 corresponding to the change of length of T1. Let's start with the minimum length of T1, that is 1. So if the length of T1 is 1, the length of T2 should be n by 2 minus 1. Now we increase the length of T1 from 1 to 2. Then we would be having the length of T2 as n by 2 minus 2. For a length I of T1, we would be having the length of T2 as n by 2 minus I. And now for the maximum length of T1, that is n by 2 minus 1, we would be having the minimum length of T2, that is 1. We have till now observed the change of length of T2 corresponding to the change of length of T1 or vice versa. And now we would be observing the change of the static indexes of the substrings T1 and T2. We are following zero indexing. Let's assume the length of T1 is I. Then the length of T2 would be n by 2 minus I. As we had discussed earlier, that the new string S basically consists of 4 different substrings. Let's visualize the starting indexes of the 4 different substrings. Let's say that the 4 different substrings are P1, P2, P3 and P4. So, P1 is having its starting index at the position 0 and it is of length I. So its ending index will be 0 plus I, that is I. The ending index of P1 would serve as the starting index of P2. Now P2 is having its starting index at I, it is of length I, so its ending index would be 2I. This index 2I would serve as the starting index of the next substring P3. Now P3 will be starting at 2I, it is of length n by 2 minus I, so its ending index would be 2I plus n by 2 minus I. And this position would now serve as the starting index of the string P4, which will go on till the length of the string S. We have obtained the starting indexes of each of the substrings P1, P2, P3 and P4. And we have also obtained the range of the change of the length of these 4 substrings. In conclusion, P1 is the substring from index 0 of length I, P2 is the substring from index I of length I, P3 is the substring from index 2I of length n by 2 minus I, P4 is the substring from index 2I plus n by 2 minus I of length n by 2 minus I. And if Ceph remembers properly the new string S, then the initial 2 substrings P1 and P2 must be same as that of T1, and the latter 2 substrings P3 and P4 must be same as that of T2. From our observations and visualizations till now, we can say that the string S is basically consisting of 4 different substrings P1, P2, P3 and P4. And if P1 is equal to P2 and P3 is equal to P4, then we can easily recover the strings T1 and T2 from the new string S. If we abide by the initial statement T1 plus T1 plus T2 plus T2 is equal to S, where the plus symbol represents string concatenation, then P1 equals to P2 must be equals to T1 and P3 equals to P4 must be equal to T2. From our observations, we have arrived at this algorithm to solve this particular problem. And here goes our pseudocode. We have a function number of ways which takes in the string S as its input. We assign a variable n with the size of the string S and a variable answer with the value 0. This variable answer would be returning the number of ways in which we can retrieve the strings T1 and T2 from the final string S. We would then run a loop from 1 to n by 2 minus 1. 1 to n by 2 minus 1 is the range of the change of length of the initial strings T1 or T2. And for this changing lengths, we would be comparing the initial 2 substrings and the final 2 substrings. If the initial 2 substrings P1 and P2 are same as each other and the final 2 substrings P3 and P4 are same as each other, then we will be incrementing the value of answer by 1. After the loop operation finishes, we would be returning the value stored in the variable answer, and this value would prove to be the number of ways in which we can retrieve T1 and T2 back from the new string S. Now what's the time complexity of our pseudocode? The loop would be running for n by 2 minus 1 times, and each of the operations checking and increment operation would be taking place in constant time. Thus, we would be having a time complexity of big O of n by 2 minus 1, which is basically big O of n. And before solving this problem, we were looking for a big O of n solution to this problem. And our pseudocode is having big O of n. And so, it's a good solution to this problem. We helped the Ceph to retrieve the initial strings T1 and T2 back from the new string S. Cephina is happy now as the Ceph.
Thanks Dunk066 for solving my problem, and happy coding to all the viewers.
I hope all of you enjoyed solving this problem. To all the viewers ready to cook their code, happy coding from this side.